Have you ever listened to something, some piece of music and just thought, wow, this isn't just a song, this is different?
Yeah, like it completely rewires your brain about what music can even do.
Exactly. The kind of artist whose influence isn't just a ripple, well, it's more like a sea change.
A fundamental shift.
Right. Today, we're diving deep into John Coltrane, his life, his incredible innovations, and the legacy he left behind.
A true visionary.
He really was a saxophonist, a composer. He didn't just follow the paths laid out in jazz. He kind of, carved out completely new territory.
Absolutely. He altered the landscape permanently.
Yeah.
Musicians are still exploring the doors he opened.
And it makes sense, right? His importance, it isn't just stuck in jazz circles or academic papers.
Not at all. His influence, it really jumps across genres, across generations.
Sure.
It goes way beyond just the notes themselves.
It touches on spirituality, philosophy, just sheer artistic commitment.
Dedication.
So, for you listening, think of this deep dive as your, let's say, shortcut. Your way to really grasp why Coltrane is still such a massive figure.
Yeah, we want to get to those aha moments.
Exactly. Those moments about his technical skill, which was just staggering, his constant search for the new, and that deep, deep spiritual core in his work.
Hopefully giving you a fresh angle on his impact.
Okay, so let's unpack this. Where did it all begin for someone who became so pivotal?
The origin story.
Right. John Coltrane, born September 23, 1926, Hamlet, North Carolina, but mostly raised in High Point.
And music was there early on, wasn't it? Family, church settings.
Yeah, those were the very first seeds, you could say, those foundational notes.
But that really kicked into high gear when he moved to Philadelphia after high school. That was key.
Ah, Philadelphia.
Definitely. He really dove in there, studied music formally, started playing professionally. Philly was like his musical crucible,
Where he started forging that voice.
Exactly. Shaping that sound.
And there's that interesting detail about his early life, the unexpected detour.
The Navy.
Yeah, he served in the U.S. Navy during World War II, played in military bands.
Right. You wonder how that experience might have influenced him.
Maybe discipline, focus, hard to say. But after his service, he went right back to Philly.
Straight back into that jazz scene.
And really started honing his craft on the saxophone, developing that sound we, instantly recognize now.
And he started playing with some heavy hitters pretty early on.
Oh, yeah. His early career, imagine sharing a stage with Dizzy Gillespie.
Earl Bostic, Johnny Hodges, these are major figures.
Absolutely. These gigs, they really built his reputation, his chops, set the stage for what came next.
And that next step was massive. The pivotal break really came in 55.
Miles Davis.
Miles Davis invites him to join his quintet. That wasn't just a good gig. It was transformative.
Career defining.
Totally. Think about the records they made together. Kind of blew.
An album that basically defined cool jazz, modal jazz, a whole era. Coltrane's playing on that is just iconic.
And beyond Miles, let's not forget his time with Thelonious Monk.
Oh, absolutely. Those recordings are incredible, too. It shows a different side, maybe more angular, complex.
Definitely highlights Monk's unique structures and Coltrane navigating them. Highly influential stuff.
Then comes 1960. He signs with Atlantic Records.
And drops Giant Steps.
Wow. Yeah, Giant Steps. That album was just a harmonic gauntlet thrown down.
It really announced his arrival as a leader with this incredibly dense, innovative, harmonic approach. Like he's playing 3 chords for everyone you expect.
They call it Coltrane changes for a reason. It's like a whole new system.
And that spirit, that drive, it was just getting started. His move to Impulse Records that led to another landmark.
Love Supreme.
Love Supreme. 1965, that record. It's more than music, isn't it?
It feels like a statement. A deeply personal, spiritual journey put to music.
Connecting his own inner transformation directly to his art, it's incredibly powerful.
Okay, but this is where, for me anyway, it gets really compelling. His contributions, they weren't just significant additions, they were revolutionary.
He fundamentally changed the game.
He really did, reinvented things.
You mentioned the Coltrane changes, that dense, rapid harmonic motion. It gave improvisers this incredibly complex, but expressive new language.
Almost like a test, but also a liberation.
Right. And he didn't stop there. He dove headfirst into mobile jazz, really explored its potential after kind of blew. More freedom, focusing on scales over constant chord changes.
Which opened up improvisation in a whole new way.
And then he pushed even further into free jazz, avant-garde styles, areas where traditional structures just dissolved.
Radically rethinking rhythm, harmony, melody. everything.
He was fearless in that exploration.
And let's talk about the soprano saxophone.
Yes. He basically brought it back into the spotlight in modern jazz.
Before him, it was often seen as, I don't know, a bit niche, maybe harder to control.
Kind of nasal sounding sometimes, yeah. But Coltrane, he gave it this searing, intense, yet deeply melodic voice.
My favorite things is the classic example, right? His playing on that just redefined the instrument.
Completely. Made it a major voice in jazz again.
And those explorations just kept going, didn't they? Pushing into really uncharted territory.
Albums like Ascension, that one. It's almost overwhelming. Pushing ensemble improvisation to its limits.
Multiple soloists sometimes playing at once.
Yeah, creating this incredibly dense, ecstatic wall of sound. It challenged listeners, definitely.
And when you connect this relentless musical searching to his personal life,
it makes perfect sense. His legendary practice regimen, people talk about 12, 14 hours a day.
Incredible discipline.
And his deep dive into spiritual seeking. They weren't separate things. The music was the practice, was the search.
Resulting in compositions that were just breathtakingly complex technically.
But also intensely emotional and spiritually charged. You feel both the intellect and the soul.
And Coltrane wasn't just a solitary genius. His collaborations were key.
Absolutely. We mentioned Miles and Monk, but he played with so many legends. Duke Ellington, Eric Dolphy.
Always pushing, always learning, always in conversation with other great minds.
But if you want to talk peak collaboration, you have to talk about his classic quartet.
Oh, definitely. McCoy Tyner on piano.
Jimmy Garrison on bass, Elvin Jones on drums. That group, just one of the most celebrated, cohesive units in jazz history, period.
Their interplay was legendary, almost telepathic, people say.
You can hear it on those impulse recordings, just incredible synergy.
And the influence just radiates outwards from there.
Massively. Yeah. Countless musicians, not just in jazz. Rock musicians, experimental artists.
You can hear echoes of Coltrane in so many places. He directly inspired people like Pharoah Sanders, Archie Shepp.
And even his own son, Robbie Coltrane, who's a phenomenal saxophonist in his own right.
Yeah.
The legacy continues.
Now, it feels impossible to really get Coltrane's music without touching on his personal journey. The two seem so deeply woven together.
They really are inseparable. You have his first marriage to Naima.
Who inspired the beautiful ballad Naima.
Right. And later, his marriage to Alice Coltrane.
Herself an amazing musician, pianist, harpist, she became a crucial musical partner in his later bands.
Absolutely. Her sound definitely influenced his later, more avant-garde explorations.
But that big shift, the spiritual awakening in '57, that seems pivotal.
Hugely pivotal. It followed a period where he overcame serious struggles with addiction, kicking heroin and alcohol cold turkey.
And he attributed that success to a profound spiritual experience.
He did. And that wasn't just a personal turning point. It directly fueled the music. You hear it changing.
He started exploring different religious ideas, philosophies, Eastern spirituality, Islam, Christianity.
Right, seeking universal truths. And that search, that deep inner journey, gets channeled straight into works like A Love Supreme.
You can feel it. The structure, the titles, acknowledgement, resolution, pursuance, psalm. It's like a 4-part prayer.
Exactly. It's an offering, an expression of gratitude and devotion. That transformed self laid bare in the music.
And by all accounts, he was known for his character, too. Intense focus, but also humility.
Remarkable humility, yes. Unwavering discipline, that incredible dedication to the music above all else.
Despite those earlier struggles, he just seemed relentlessly committed to growth, personally and artistically.
Always pushing himself, always searching.
So when we talk about his legacy, it's just immense, isn't it?
Unparalleled in jazz, you could argue. His recordings are basically required listening.
Foundational texts for any serious jazz musician or even just a deep listener.
And A Love Supreme.
Yeah.
It's consistently ranked, as one of the greatest jazz albums ever made, a true masterpiece.
It transcends the genre, really.
Absolutely. It speaks to people on so many levels.
Which brings up that spiritual aspect again. It's amazing how many people see him as almost a spiritual guide, a figurehead.
It's true. His music touched something profound in people, something beyond just aesthetics.
Does that mean you need that spiritual lens to appreciate him? What about listeners who don't connect on that level?
Oh, not at all. I mean, the music stands entirely on its own merit. The innovation, the technical mastery, the sheer emotional power.
The complexity, the fire.
Exactly. That's universally compelling, regardless of your personal beliefs. And the recognition reflects that. Posthumous awards keep coming.
Like the Pulitzer Prize Special Citation.
A Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award. The accolades acknowledge that lasting impact.
And then there's that almost unbelievable fact.
The church.
The St. John Coltrane African Orthodox Church in San Francisco. They literally venerate him as a saint.
It's extraordinary, isn't it? It just shows how deeply his message, his sound, resonated, extending far beyond the concert hall.
Touching lives on this incredibly personal, even sacred level for some.
A testament to his transcendent reach.
So wrapping this all up, what's the takeaway? John Coltrane. Just a truly transformative force.
Yeah, an artist whose vision didn't just redefine a genre. It expanded what we even think music is.
He was relentless. Never stopped exploring, never stopped pushing, always reaching for something higher, deeper.
Both, I think. His technical brilliance was stunning, his spiritual depth was profound, and that constant innovation. It's left this indelible mark.
He showed us music could be more than entertainment. It could be a tool for discovery.
A pathway. A mirror reflecting our own complex humanity. It's work that rewards deep listening, again and again.
And that life, that work, it absolutely continues to inspire. New generations keep finding him.
Which speaks volumes about the power in that music, the power of that kind of dedication.
It reminds us what's possible when you commit so fully to artistic exploration.
So maybe a final thought to leave with you, the listener. Coltrane showed how music could be this profound force for transcendence, both personal and maybe even collective.
Moving beyond the everyday.
Exactly. So maybe reflect on this. What art in your own life, what music, what book, what film, what truly moves you to transcend, to go beyond the ordinary and maybe glimpse something extraordinary?